It's Jess, and we're spending a day indoors here to talk about the Big Brother 27 finale, aka the gaggiest shit I have ever seen in my life. Oh my god, I am over the moon. What a finale! It's like I can't even be like fully. I can't, like, I haven't accepted Big Brother's over, so I'm not sad yet. It's been 24 hours and I'm still, like, floored. I'm speechless still. I think about it, I'm like, like, oh my god. What a finale. Holy crap, y'all. I fully sat down on my couch yesterday, 100,000,000% convinced that Morgan was winning this game. I was like, yeah, there's a chance Ashley or Vince could win, depending on how this goes. You know, like I said in my last video, real toss-up, I was thinking at the time, between Ashley and Vince if Ashley ended up winning part 3 somehow. Boy, was I surprised. I can't believe this. So, we have our winner, Miss Diva, Miss Queen, Ashley Hollis, 25, attorney at law, baby. Let's go. I'm so happy. I truly can't even believe it. We're gonna go use the beat by beat, kinda. We'll get through it. I'm just like I watching that part 3 at every question. I was like, no way. As Morgan kept getting questions wrong, I'm like, it can't be happening. Is it? Could it be? Because I said this yesterday. I said, like, the expected result is, Morgan wins, cuts Vince, takes Ashley, beats Ashley. That was, like, my main guess of how the night was going to go. The shocker timeline would be Ashley winning, cutting Morgan, taking Vince, and then the toss-up there. Even though I was very concerned that, because I didn't know, this jury, at the time, I was like, who knows? We got Kelly, we got Keanu, we got Ava, girl, who knew with them? So I was like, it could be a real toss-up, but I was like, oh, imagine the jury reaction to Morgan walking out. It was so good, as I expected. I can't believe it. This is truly, honestly, this is the most, like, gagged I've been watching a finale in, like, a hot minute. Because typically, especially in, like, the more recent years, we've gone into finale pretty much knowing who's gonna win. At least I have. Like, 26, I was, like, looking at Cam and Kenzie, I'm like, they're taking Chelsea. We knew they were taking Chelsea. Both of them would take Chelsea. Well, obviously, Cam didn't win the part 1 or part 2, so he couldn't do it. But I was like, Mackenzie's taking Chelsea. And I was like, Xavier's with both Big D and, I believe both Big D and Ozzy would have taken Xavier. I actually don't remember. I jumped way back, actually, but I went from 26 to 23. I meant to go 25. You know what I mean. Pretty much, like, the last couple of finales, I was like, the Taylor hair will always be gagging. Just because she is the moment, thank you. But, like, we know. So this is, like, the first time in a while where we've gone into the finale, like, any of these 3 people could win. Would I have been happy if all of them won? We're not gonna worry about that, though, because we have our winner. I'm so happy. Okay. I'm reeling it in. Because we gotta talk through this, because, oh my god. Now, going into this night, let me switch my screen here. Our final 3, my new one. Look at this, nice graphics. I know, I didn't even notice this in the other video that I'm cutting off. Say whatever, he's fine. Who cares? So we're going into tonight with our final 3. Obviously, Morgan, Vince, and Ashley. Also, side note, Vince didn't pick anything for finale night. I get maybe thinking the chances of me sitting in final three are very slim. But everybody goes to finale night unless he was anticipating to be pre-jury, gone home, and would have brought a suit with him. Ashley's dressed up. Morgan's dressed up. This man's in his damn forest sweater with his beanie. You wore your beanie to finale. I get, okay, the sweater thing, fine. I guess. With the jeans and the I guess. But at least take the beanie off. Come on. Put the flat iron away. Or at least no beanie. Come on. Had to give beanie at finale night. This is like when you look at all like the past final twos and the amount of men that have worn just like a flannel shirt, and I'm like, come on. You got nothing else? And don't even get me started on Frenzel's picnic basket outfit. Oh my god. We're not here to talk about the outfits. We're here to talk finale. Now we got part one. Part one, they kind of were like, they kind of flew through part one. They're like, who cares? You already know. The endurance comp of them fucking hanging, spinning. I would have died, man. I don't get dizzy like that, but damn. I can't believe they went an hour. I mean, Ashley dropped out for half an hour, but Vincent Morgan went an hour. I would have absolutely fallen. You know, they're hanging like this with their feet locked in. The drones are tilting like all the way forward, back, spin, wild, crazy endurance comp. But at least, you know, they tried. No rock, paper, scissors like some final twos do in this competition. They know who they are. I'm still not over that. It still makes me mad thinking about it. I can't even. I still get mad. I genuinely, thinking about that makes me switch. But it's fine. We're good. This is not. We're over 25. We're at 27. My camera won't focus. If you see him while I wave my hands. One moment, please. Anyways, we're back. Okay. But yeah, they flew through this. So like, you're all right. They're like, yeah, part one, whatever. Morgan wins. They're like, it's the physical endurance comp. Who do you think? Morgan. Shocker. Now part two. Interesting. So it is. They've done this comp before. They're billboards, but they're the big blocks. Stacked up. They have to swing, knock all the blocks down, put together a puzzle, and then they have another part of the puzzle. Once they put together like the puzzle, which is just like a bunch of the different Houseguest faces, they have to then, and this is a very critical instruction, decode the answer, the password to unmask the mastermind, by the order the Houseguests left the game. The order. That's a very key word, order. This guy was hosted by Frankie Grande. I was like, cool, but why is Frankie Grande there? Why not? At least they've been bringing back a lot of alums this season. More, they should do that more often. Have more of the alums hosting comps. I think that'd be fun. They stopped doing that for a while, and now they're bringing it back, and I really like that. But yeah, now this comp is so funny. Big Brother has his moments of madness with these people. They're locked in this house for so long. They go a little crazy sometimes. They get into fights. They argue. They're very emotional. I have never I have never seen a crash out like this during this competition. Now Ashley, Ashley and Vince are doing this comp. Vince has a bit of a lead. I believe he said on feeds is maybe like a 15, maybe even 20-minute lead on her in this comp for how fast he was going through it. He gets down the blocks first. She still has to keep swinging because she keeps missing like one block. He's sticking around looking for the pieces of the blocks, the billboard blocks that have the pictures for his puzzle. He gets them together really quickly. You know, it's just the house guest faces. It's not like it's hard, and they're color coded. So it's not like, oh my god, is this Will or is this like, you know, it's obvious. So he puts them together. It's like perfect. Now I just gotta decode this password so that we can unmask the mastermind. He's putting in his numbers because there's the puzzle blocks here and the empty blocks where the numbers go that are color coded to match that. He's putting in the days. He's like, okay, day 66, day 17, so on and so forth. Hits the button. Wrong. He's like, what do you mean? Change the number. Button. Wrong. Oh. What? He's confused. No, change the number. Hit the button. Wrong. Button. Number. Number. Button. Back and forth. Back and forth. And Ashley is now catching up because he has no idea what the hell is happening. He is starting to get pissed. And honestly, I understand. As somebody who also gets very frustrated easily and then gets emotional when you're frustrated, I'm like, this would be some shit I would do. To a degree. To a certain degree. Maybe not in front of Frankie Grande. This is so funny that Frankie Grande is there for all of this. It's just like so like crashing out on TV, but also Frankie Grande is here. Which BB alum would you want to crash out in front of? Let me know in the comments. Who would you choose to have a crash out moment in front of? Let me know. But he's wigging. And now Ashley completes the puzzle, is now caught up to Vince on this numbers part. She reads her card as well. The order in which the house guests left the game. And then when Ashley reads it out loud, Morgan is like, oh my fucking god. It's not the days, it's the order it's the order. So not day 66, day 17, it's like 12, 6, 8. Ashley doesn't realize this. Ashley also starts doing the days. Wrong. Because they've all studied the days. They already had the days comp. Which you think would include them in that it wasn't the days. Because they did the days comp was last. You know. But I guess you could do days for multiple things. Now, Ashley does something that Vince does not do. And she's like, let me go read this card again. Because it's not like they took the card. The card is on the floor. Next to Vince, next to Ashley. She picks up her card. She's looking at it. She's like, oh boy. It's not the days. And she's like, let me do this before he figures this shit out. Because Vince is crashing out. He's just changing numbers. Hitting the button. Yelling. He's like, what is that? What is it? What is it? And Morgan and Frankie are just like, what is happening? So Ashley quickly starts changing her numbers, puts in the order, hits the button, and just like that, Ashley wins part 2. And Vince still isn't getting it. Vince is still like so confused as to what the hell is happening until Ashley has to physically make him come over and look at her board. They're like, it's not the days, it's the order. Which, honestly, I don't know how they got that confused because it doesn't say days on it says order on the card. So I don't know how they both mistook that for days. Because if I'm thinking order, well, to be fair, I probably would have been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Instead of like the order of their eviction. You know what I mean? Or elimination because Rachel was there. the order they left. But I probably just did like the order of the 6 there, so like this one's 1, this one's 2, that's 3. Days? I don't think I would have gone for days. And now Vince is crashing out even harder. Morgan's trying to cover him. He's like, don't touch me. He's hiding in a ball, crying behind his block wall. It's like funny, but it's not funny. Because you're like, oh my god. I can laugh because this is some shit. Well, I wouldn't be to the scale of Vince where he's like, I'm an idiot. I'm a loser. I don't deserve to win this fucking game. Da 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 da. And Frankie Grande is still there. I believe Frankie Grande, they didn't show this in the episode, but I believe they said on beat that Frankie had to be like, Vince, you're good, man. It's okay. And Vince told Ash was like, you're good. Don't worry about it, man. Like, oh my, imagine having the crash on. It's so crazy. This show is bonkers. But now, while Vince has stopped crying, he has come out from a perfect time. If only he had the egg. Oh, if he had the egg, he'd be in that egg. He wouldn't have come out. But he has finally emerged from behind his little block wall so they can move on to the mastermind reveal. The puzzle code that Ashley has solved has unlocked the video. And who's shocked? It's Dr. Will. And they had it on feeds. I think maybe they tried to tell him don't say nothing. But Morgan still said it was Dr. Will in the feed, so I wasn't shocked. And I'm thinking, because they showed the video, I'm like, oh, Dr. Will in the video. I was gagged, he was there. He comes out the door being handcuffed. I was like, he's there? That's crazy. I didn't think he was actually going to show up for 2 seconds to be arrested. Yelling, I'm being framed. This is AI. Frankie, you're a social media mogul. Please. But you know what? Go ahead. Go for Dr. Will. You know what? Live your life. Go off. I'm glad they got him. Because honestly, it was kind of funny. And now this is where the feeds came back on the episode. Like, after that conversation of like Vince in a ball on his bed, devastated. And then I think all feeds were on him at first, and then when Morgan comes in and is talking to him, trying to comfort him, and then this side of the feeds cuts to Ashley in the kitchen just like dancing, and we're like, oh well, we know who won. And that was gaggy in and of itself. Because I thought for sure, I mean obviously she hadn't won anything since week 1. The first veto, and that was it. So and Vince, hello, has won a good number of comps, as has Morgan. So we're assuming at this point, oh, okay. So Vince is gonna win this. When she won, I'm like, you're shitting me, dude. Could this be? Does Ashley have a chance to take the shot? My God. Crazy. I also realized, in between part 1 and part 2 on the episode, they showed the jury roundtable. They showed like 5 minutes of it. Which was like, they kind of touched on everybody. They didn't really touch on much of Ashley. I mean, they kind of did, but not as, it's Big Brother. They haven't been editing Ashley's game well at all this season. At all. The roundtable this year was hosted by Cody Calafiore, which I guess is now a rotating position. It's not just going to be Taylor like I had hoped. I will say, I mean, Cody's not the worst pick. There's worse. He wouldn't. I would just say, I feel like I set him up. If I'm at this roundtable, I'm the BB27 roundtable, and I'm expecting Taylor Hale to walk out, and Cody Calafiore walks out, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit a little bummed. I'm like, oh, where'd Taylor go? Oh my God, Taylor didn't do it this year. But also, this jury, I don't think most of them know who he is. Kelly doesn't know, I doubt. I doubt Keanu knew. I doubt Ava knew. Will probably did. Rachel definitely did. I assume Lauren did as well. So it's fine. The only thing I want to touch on from the roundtable, because it was really just, they touched on the little points here and there, but the way they edit sometimes, I'm sure this is hours and hours of conversation, and they're like 5 minutes, and I'm like, great, thanks. The one thing I want to say, Will spilled the damn beans. Will had one task from Ashley before he left, and she's like, "Don't tell anybody that I'm a lawyer. I want to put this in my final two speech." And he told the whole jury. They already knew at the round table, and he said it. He's like, "Oh yeah," to Ava. Like, "Oh yeah, you know she's a lawyer, right?" And Ava was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh my god." At this point, I'm like, "Her big reveal, no," because I've heard her practicing her speech on the feeds. And I'm like, oh my god, that was her big reveal, her Elle Woods moment, and you took it from her. But people have pointed this out, and I do agree. After the fact, in the moment, I was like, no, that it probably was better that they knew ahead of time. Gives them more time to actually like process the information and like look back on her game with this new lens over it. Like, oh, she's not just like this person we thought was like a ditz that didn't know anything. Da da da. She's a very intelligent person. She's doing this on purpose. She's a lawyer. Da da da. Brings a whole new perspective to her game. So I guess it is good that he told her, even though that definitely was not part of her plan. Even she admitted in her exit video, probably a good thing that he told. Now, at this point, I'm shaking in my boots. It's part 3. I'm sitting on the couch, sweating. My bowl of popcorn, clenched. I'm sweating. As Julie's, it's the usual, 6 questions for the 6 jurors at the time. 3 statements about each juror. Which one's false? I never know. I would lose this comp so bad. Which is why I'm always like, I want to go my brother. Then I'm like, I watch the finales and I'm like, I would lose. I'm not good at speech. I'm not good at questions. I don't think I would do good in this comp at all. I would have to study my ass off, and like some of these I did not know in the slightest. But then again, I don't have the pressure to learn all this information. I'm not on the show. I'm not winning the money. First question, they both get it right, and I'm like, okay. It's usually gone to like a tiebreaker in the past couple of, like this comp is run deep. I'm like, okay. I'm sitting there. Next question. Ashley gets it right. Morgan gets it wrong. I'm like, oh. A 1-point lead? Okay. Question 3. Ashley also gets it right, and Morgan also gets it wrong. At this point, I'm sweating. I'm like, no. I'm sitting next to my mom on the couch. We're looking at each other like, you don't. We're like, is she gonna win this? Is she gonna beat Morgan? We're like, no. We're like, looking at this TV like, no way. Question 4. Morgan picks an answer. Ashley has nothing. Ashley's touching the bin. This is Lauren's question. Touching. And Julie's like, we need an answer. Ashley pulls out her answer. Morgan quickly tries to change hers. And Julie's like, we need an answer. And instead of just changing it, Morgan retracts and takes her answer out. And is like, because she knows it's wrong. She has realized she answered wrong. And that's no bueno, because this is question 4 out of 6. And when you're 3 down, odds aren't looking good. And guess what? They were not looking good for Morgan. Because Morgan is incorrect. And Ashley is correct. Making her the final HOH. I about hit the roof. I was like, are you? My mom and I are like, what? I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's 10 years after Big Brother 17. And I'm like, we are about to watch another Steve cut another Vanessa. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, only a season this fucking insane could have a finale like this. I was like, this is wild. This is crazy. And they're on commercial break. I'm like, you don't even need to go to commercial break. We know what's happening. Because Ashley has been saying this for days. Hell, since the 5, 6, She's been saying, we gotta cut her. We gotta cut her the first chance we get. So it's Ashley's time to evict. She gets up there. She's acting like it's a toss-up. I've been thinking about this a lot. I really didn't think about it too hard. I really thought Morgan was gonna win. Da, da, da. She knows. She knows. She's smart. And she very emotionally, with the spirit of Steve Moses flowing through her veins, Ashley does it. She cuts Morgan and takes Vince. I can't even, I knew it was happening, but I couldn't believe that my eyes were seeing her. Seeing her memory wall picture go gray was crazy to me. I was like, oh my God. What? Even Steve Moses online was like, she's reheating my nacho. I can't believe it. I was like, you're kidding me. For so many seasons, we've just watched the Comp Beast push through to the end. Comp wins. Dang, you can't always win. And I'm not saying this to be spiteful. I love Morgan. I think Morgan is fabulous. I think if she had won, still fabulous season. Fabulous result. But oh my God. As someone who, like I've said, I love playing this, like watching the gameplay from every season through like the underdog point of view. So I'm always like, how do you get this is the front runner, how do you get them out? Like last year with Chelsea. Every week I'm like, okay, Chelsea is the clear front runner right now. How do these people get Chelsea out and clear a path for them to win? And they didn't. And to see literally the underdog of this season, the real underdog, beat her, defeat the Comp Beast, crush the fucking front runner, and cut her correctly. No Mackenzie, no taking Chelsea with you to the end. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. I'm like still kind of speechless. I've watched this already multiple times. I've gone back and watched so many of these clips so many times, like all of them, just like, oh my God. Like it's just like so surreal. And then Morgan's doing her interview with Julie, and then Morgan reveals in her interview with Julie she was gonna cut Vince and bring Ashley. So Ashley, all of that work she put in with Morgan to convince her that she would lose to Vince when Morgan would absolutely wipe the floor with Vince. I was like, Ashley's a genius. Just write her the check. But I was still very nervous. Because in my head, I'm like, oh God, this jury, I don't know. It could be a toss-up. Because I'm also considering, the jury segments, the jury roundtable, which are all pointing, good signs at Vince. But you should also never trust the edit of the show. So we get our gaggy moment that I have been dreaming of. The jury is sitting there, and Julie's like, so we're gonna bring out our final juror. Any guesses? Who do you want? And this one I start going like, Rachel's like, I hope it's Vince. I'm like, makes sense for Rachel. Keanu is like, I wouldn't mind Vince. And I was like, really? Julie's like, okay. Here comes our final juror. The way their jaws drop at Morgan walking out is so good. I literally was like, this is gonna be the gag of the century, and it was. It's even better than when Vanessa was cut, because they weren't even like shocked that Vanessa was cut on 17. They were just like happy because they were all so salty. They were so pissed about Vanessa. They were just like, good. Morgan, they're like, Ava, clip farming as always. I'm like, Ava, move on. Get it. So, it was just so good. And then Julie gets to tell them how it happens. And she says, y'all, let me tell you how this played out. Ashley won part 3 of the HOH and come working. She barely gets the word Ashley won part 3 out before Rachel is literally screaming and crying. And I'm like, period. It's like, and they're shocked because obviously Ashley had only won one comp the whole season. And she's against 2 people who have crushed the whole endgame comps pretty much. So I'm assuming when Morgan walked out, they were thinking, okay, Vince cut Morgan for Ashley. No. Ashley cut Morgan. Oh my god. Literally incredible. When Big Brother is good, it's so good. Oh my god. It's so good. So we have our final 2. They do the jury questions, and they do the speeches, and I was flabbergasted. The moment these questions happened, I was like, it's over. I'm like, just give her the check now. Ashley crushed the segment. She crushed the questions. She crushed the speech. And I saw her run feats. She was practicing the hell out of them speeches, and she nailed them all. She nailed it. Like, she was like, she's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. Vince did so bad with the questions. He did better. His speech wasn't bad. His speech was fine. His question answers, I was like, oh no, he's pulling it. Oh no. The jury said on the round table what they wanted. Lauren specifically said, what I want from the final 3 is accountability. Accountability for their actions in the game and the moves they made, things like that. Vince immediately, they asked him about him being emotionally manipulative, with his crying, and he's like, I wasn't emotionally manipulative, and I was like, uh-oh. Sounds like we're not taking accountability. That's not what they wanted. And he clearly, especially as the questions go on, he's clearly starting to get like a little more flustered, because his questions are pretty much like, hey asshole, why are you so manipulative? And Ashley's like, oh my god, Ashley, you're so smart. Ashley, why did you do this game? And I'm like, I don't think they're too happy with him. And at one point, Morgan's question, because Morgan gets a question as well, and she asked Vince, what was his, I don't remember her question. I just remember him saying how he had set himself up to have a lot of people be good with him to the end. Like how he's like, Keanu is going to take me to the end. Kelly's going to take me to the end. Kelly laughed at him. Do you know how bad it's going to be for crazy Kelly to laugh at you? She was cracking up. Will had to smack her with a card and be like, girl, get a grip. I was like, oh no, that's not good for Vince. And Ashley's were so good. And she kept going. Julie had to keep cutting her off. She's like, we gotta move on. Which is like, let them talk. They're trying to win this game. Just let them go. Because we had important pre-jury things to get to? No, we do not. No offense to the pre-jury. But no, I'm so sorry to them. Nobody tuned in to be like, what's Jimmy up to? I'm so sorry. This is just Big Brother. If you're an early boot, you're kind of gone with the wind, which really sucks. I'm very sorry, but at this point, it's all about the jury. Especially for me, when you're stressed about who's going to win, I couldn't care. Alright, but regardless. And Ashley hits her really good quote as well. I wish I wrote it down. But it was like, I turned enemies into allies. Vince turned his allies into enemies. And she said that on the feeds when she was rehearsing, and I was like, I'm like, that's crazy. Put that in. And she said it, and I was like, get that shit. Oh my god, I knew she was running circles about him. She was running circles around this man. Her speech was so good. And she did her lawyer reveal, even though, I mean, it was a shock to Vincent Morgan. Vince was sitting next to her, gagged as can be. But it was so good. You can tell. I don't know if she did debate. She had to have. She speaks incredibly well. And you could tell she had practiced this. She had that speech down. Like, and when she stood up to her speech, she didn't realize she could just go. She was kind of standing for a second like this, like. And then she's like, oh, when do I start? And Joy's like, just whenever. She's like, oh, okay. And then she immediately locks in. And I'm like, oh my god. Hire her to be my lawyer. If I'm ever in trouble in the state of New York, I know who I'm calling. I hope I'm not. But I know who to call first. And like I said, Vince's speech was better than his questions. He definitely tried to take accountability for his actions then, but I think it was a little too late. Like, once you denied it, you can't deny being like, oh, all of my tears were genuine, they weren't strategic at all, or fake, or bullshit, and I wasn't emotionally manipulative, and then try to claim in your speech that you were manipulating them. It's like, you can't, that you're contradicting yourself, and that's not good. That doesn't look good for the jury. It doesn't look good to me, and I'm sitting on my couch. So they go to lock in the keys. And these people, I mean, I was like, I know who Rachel's voting for. You don't need to. And then Will just says who he's voting for. He's like, this vote is for my little girl. And Joy's like, okay, can we be subtle, please? He's like, hey, don't reveal your votes, please. And then Morgan, literally reveals her vote. She's the last one to vote. She's trying very hard to hide the key that she's putting in. And then by doing so, she leaves the bag with the keys wide open. And you can see Ashley's keys. I was like, girl, close the bag at least. Hide the bag. Somebody can see like the other key inside. We could, like, someone got a screenshot. You just clearly says Ashley in the bag. I'm like, girl, really? You didn't catch that? You didn't close the bag? Pinch it shut? Do something? No. Gotta hide the key I'm putting in, but I can see the key right here. That's okay. They all vote. And now, show's over almost. Because now everybody's here. Whole pre-jury. I don't care. They do have a funny question. With Zach. They're like, what's shocked you the most? And he's like, I go on Twitter and I see a diagram of every final two Vince has. Shout out to Dolphica, by the way. Her diagram of the alliance charts every week she does. And they're like, raise your hand if you had a final two events. And like 8 people. And the ones clearly he forgot about. Because Ashley raised his hand. He's like, we had a final two? And she's like, you said you would take me. You told me you were going to take me. Too many final twos. Too many cooks. Too many cooks. Too many cooks. You know, they talk about, you know, Mickey, Morgan, and Jimmy, and they hash that out. I don't care about the showman segment. I'm not talking about it. I don't care. It's not my funeral, not my circus, not my monkeys. Not my problem anymore. And we get more mastermind. Well, first we get the reveal of the accomplice, which I think, well, obviously the whole pre-jury knew. I wonder who in jury knew, because Amy told Rachel, and I believe she told Ashley as well, week one or week two, that she was the accomplice. I don't know. Morgan was very gagged. Because they're like, Morgan, you've been trying to figure this out. She's like, isn't that Ava? And Ava's like, what? And it was Amy. Amy was like, and Morgan's shocked. By the way, Amy, stunning. Some of these jurors, listen, what is it with men on these shows who just don't dress up for the finale. I'm like shaking my mic. I'm hitting my desk. I'm very sorry. You're on live television. It's the biggest night of the show. We gotta dress it up a little more. Adrian's in a polo and like, I'm like, what are we doing? Adrian sitting next to Amy, who is the cuntiest woman you've ever seen. Like, amazing looking. And Adrian's in a polo. I'm like, girl, come on. I know Adrian's young, but I'm like, come on. Get a jacket. Get a suit jacket. And you know what? I can't even talk shit because at least Adrian's not wearing a beanie. Like, the final two is unbelievable. But we're not here to talk about fashion. Because the mastermind's not done. Things are still afoot in Hotel Mystère. We get a cut inside to the little sanctum room. Mastermind's in there. And they're like, oh, Dr. Wilm, he got flamed. Frankly, he was flamed. He was manipulated. Dr. Wilm was manipulated. I'm sorry. I had to make myself laugh. When they reveal... Okay. So Dr. Will was framed. Wasn't Dr. Will. Who was our mastermind, you may ask? He takes off that mask. And it's... it's Mr. Spectacular. It's Jesse of BB10 and 11 fame. And I'm like, oh. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. And then it shows, he's like, I was screwed by a twist in my game. And they show in BB11 when Jeff played the coup d'etat and got him very swiftly booted. The coup d'etat, one of the most infamous powers in Big Brother history. It is extremely overpowered. I'm like, oh, okay. And then here comes another mastermind, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, is this Scream? There's another one, another ghost face. Other mastermind 2 takes off their mask. The plot has thickened. It's Frankie Grande. I'm like, oh. And he talks about how he was twist screwed in Big Brother 16 by the rewind week. And I'm like, are these all people who have been screwed over? Is production acknowledging players that they screwed over with twists? Quite frankly, I never thought I'd see the day. So I'm kind of gobsmacked. I'm like, oh my god. No way. That's kind of crazy. A third mastermind comes in, and I'm like, how long can we keep this going? Possibly, how long can this bit go? And then I get the gag of a lifetime. Let's talk about a gaggy finale. Here's the gaggy reveal. Eric Stein. I'm like, what? I was like, oh my god. America's player. I can't believe they got Eric Stein for this. I'm like, that's crazy. Honestly, fuck Mr. Spectacular. Respectfully, fuck Frankie. Eric Stein? Oh my god. How he was twist screwed by being America's player in BB8, and I was like, what? If they wanted a true gag, bring in a fourth one, take the mask off, and it's Jody. Fuck it. Go crazy. You know what's sad? They had a list of people they could have picked from. They absolutely had a list of names they could have pulled for this. Because they've twist screwed a lot of people in this game. Where's Glenn Garcia from BB18? Where's Cameron from BB19? Oh, all the Night One boots. Jody. Where Helen was pushed. Bring Helen. That would have been crazy. They bring back Helen for Helen was pushed. But they have Chima. Can you? They would have never done this, and I don't think she would have said yes. Can you imagine if Chima pulled? I think I would have screamed. That would have been insane. That would have been so crazy. But there's a lot of people they have screwed over with twists. A lot. They probably had a big list. Honestly, it probably was bigger than the Survivor 50 list. than the list of people from Survivor 50 that we were in consideration. They're like, who can we call? They're just like, hold on, let's scroll. But I will say, very bold and very brave of Big Brother to actually acknowledge that they are screwing people over with their twists. And that they've done it this season. Even though this may just be a cover-up, who knows, that they screwed somebody. I will say it is one thing to twist screw somebody unintentionally. It's kind of another thing to do it on purpose. And also, interesting that the person that was twist screwed was a twist itself from the masterminds. I mean, the masterminds, night one, Amy, her accomplice work, she unleashed Rachel on the house. And the masterminds got their own punishment removed from the game. Punishment, quote unquote. She's Rachel Riley. She's the moment. She's not a punishment. And I guess I didn't notice this. Each one had a different mask. So throughout the show, whenever the mastermind appeared, different mask on. I didn't catch that. And there was other clues, but nobody would have caught that shit. Especially the one for Jesse, because it was like the detective hat, the Sherlock Holmes hat in his pocket from the BB Unlocked segment that the house guest would not have seen. So, okay. But yeah. Interesting. They do ask Rachel after this, like, what do you think? And she's like, why are my friends doing this? She's like, why would my friends do this to me? And I'm like, honestly, Rachel, I don't know. Girly, why is the show doing this? But yeah, we get our mastermind reveal. And now it's time for the big reveal. The votes. I'm sweating. I'm clutching my pearls. Shaking in my boots. And obviously, they start voting. They put their keys in order. Rachel to Morgan. And then they read the keys reverse order. Morgan to Rachel. First key, who's shocked? Morgan. It's Vince. I'm like, okay. And at this point, I'm sweating. I'm like, Ashley had to have won that, right? Because her jury performance was really good. But I'm also looking at this jury. I'm like, who the hell knows? I'm like, when has Keanu ever agreed with a woman? And Kelly is very unpredictable. So I'm sweating. Ava? I'm like, Ava? Ashley? I'm like, oh. My God. Keanu? I'm clenching. I'm clutching my pearls. I'm like locked in like this to the couch. Ashley, my jaw dropped. I was like, he voted for a woman. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. But he did tell Vince, like, you get me out of here, I'm gonna vote for you. And I'm like, oh. Lauren. Ashley. Now my jaw really drops. And Vince is on his couch. And he goes, oh. I'm like, yeah, buddy. That's not good that Lauren didn't vote for you. And Ashley's shocked. Ashley's like, what? And I think she turns to Vince in true Ashley Hollis fashion and says to him, "Oh my god, I think I'm gonna win." I'm like, Ashley, never change, girl, never change. And we get to Kelly. I'm sweating. Even though, looking at this now laid out, I was so stressed in the moment. I'm like, oh my god, what if all the rest of the votes are Vince? Da, da, da. I should have known based off Lauren's vote being out, also Ashley, that she was gonna Will voted for. He's not gonna say this is for my little girl and vote for Vince. But I was so in my head in the moment, sweating, shaking, stressed. I'm like, oh my god, it's down to Kelly. As if Will and Rachel were gonna vote against Ashley. So, congratulations. War is over. I couldn't be happier at a 6-1 vote. And Morgan kind of said in her exit interview that she voted for Vince knowing he was gonna lose. She's like, I'm just gonna give him a vote. Congratulations for second place. So it's kind of a pity vote. So it would have probably been unanimous. Which tells to me that had it been the other way, had it been Morgan versus Vince, that it probably would have just been fully unanimous. Because I don't see Ashley voting for Vince either. I keep whacking my mic. I'm so sorry. I'm like so raw today. I am curious how the vote would have looked if it was Morgan versus Ashley. I think with Ashley's speech, I think Ashley would have been much closer than I had thought. But I think Morgan maybe could be. I don't know. We'll never know. Because Ashley, I'm really so excited. And this truly is what production deserves. This is what they get. Because casual fans are online, people who don't follow the updates, don't look at the live feeds, only watch the episodes, are not happy because they're like, what did she do? It should be a problem that you have not edited your show correctly or well enough for the winner of your show for their story to not be properly explained. They cut so much. And I understand to a degree that they don't know what's going to happen. They don't have, like the plus of like Survivor or The Amazing Race, where these are filmed ahead of time. They know who the winner is. They can set up the edit to tell the story that they know already happens. I do understand that they kind of just have to go week by week, day by day with whatever's happening live and just kind of fit the edit to that. I get it. So I get maybe earlier on in the game when there's so many people left, you don't know where this is going to go, not maybe featuring as much Ashley in the edit. I can give them some grace for that. But as we got further and further into the game, deeper and deeper into the game, as she became more insight, especially after the judges formation, she was incredibly well insulated in the house, especially in this like jury segment, just jury phase of the game. They didn't show pretty much any of it. They didn't even show the work. Hell, in Julie's interview with Julie, Morgan says, I would have taken Ashley over Vince. They didn't show the work that Ashley put in over, the few days before, the few weeks before finale, where she planted seeds and then tilled those seeds to convince Morgan that she would lose to Vince. That it was a 50-50 toss-up, to the point where Saturday night, I went to a Joe concert that night. I come home. Shout out to Joe, by the way. Another bite. I come home. I'm eating my food. I'm watching the feeds as Vince is pleading to Morgan on their hammock, their classic spot. If you want to win, you have to take me over Ashley. You're gonna destroy me. Ava's not gonna vote for me over you. Kelly's not gonna vote. Kiana's not gonna vote for me over you. Da da da. And Morgan's like, it's 50-50. No, you don't know that, Vince. Did you call the jury in the dining room and ask them? You don't know what it's gonna be. There's no locked votes. You don't know. She's repeating the words that Ashley said to her back to Vince. She even at one point tells Vince to go talk to Ashley so Ashley could explain these points to him. How much of that made the edit? What do you think? And it was obviously beyond that night. I get like, okay, it was the night before. This was before the night. It was well beyond that. That they just did not show any of the social game that Ashley put in. And that is a flaw of production. So I get to an extent. Actually, let me go full screen for this, for my rant here. If my full screen would focus, hello? One moment. Again, I can't even rant in focus. Rude. Okay, we're focused again. Thank you. As I was saying. What was I saying? But yeah, it is not 100% the fault of casuals who do not get to fully understand Ashley's game, because her game wasn't fully presented to them. They are only going off the edit that's being shown on their TV screens by production. And if production is not telling them the full story, they're not getting the full story, and now they're confused, they don't understand how Ashley won. Because, especially in recent years, the show has become more and more and more focused on competition wins. The show edit has heavily focused more on the comps than the social strategy of it all. Like, hell, you turn an episode and sometimes half of the episode is just the comp. And I'm like, come on. I get it. The comps are important to the game. I'm not going to say the comps are important, but they're not the end-all be-all of Big Brother. They are a part of it. You could win every comp in the world on this game, but if your social game and your strategy game is not good, you're not going to win. You could maybe get farther in the game thanks to the safety you earn from the power. Oh my god. I'm sorry, my cat is wigging out. She's mad at production too. she's also pissed. Tell me I know. I'm so sorry. I've become serious. What a time to wig out. I agree. She gets it. She's saying, why are you so focused on comps? And I agree. You can move far in this game with the power, and not the power, excuse me, the safety that you get from comps. But that doesn't mean you deserve to win. If I'm on the jury, if I'm a house guest and I'm sitting on the jury, you can win a lot of comps. That's cool. I don't really care how many you win. I more so care about what you do with that power that you've won. Are you making moves? Are you setting yourself up for the future in this game? How did you affect, the structure of the house? Did you take out a big target? Did you get out somebody who's coming after you? Or did you nominate your allies? Did you put up a pawn, fumble the week, and get that pawn at home? Did you build alliance to keep you safe? Did you make deals? Did you get information from somebody in the house with that power? That's what the comps are for. The comps aren't for who can win the most carnival games. My cat is driving me nuts. I'm so sorry. Okay, apologies. She keeps cutting off my rant. But like I'm saying, Big Brother at its core is not about who can win the most comps. You don't need comps to win. They're a plus, but it's not the end all be all of your game. You can't bank your whole game off of, I won the most comps, therefore I win. No. If you want to watch a show where it's all based on comps, you would love the challenge. This is not a challenge. Big Brother, at its core, has been and will always be a social strategic game. That's just a fact. No matter how much the edit tries to tell you it's not, it is. Because look at our final two today. Vince had far more comp wins than Ashley did, but he did not have a good social game with that jury. He had terrible jury management. He lied to them all unnecessarily. He broke their trust again and again. He just didn't do good socially. He didn't own up to it. He was shady. He lied to them. He manipulated them, even if he says he's not doing that. He did it. And then he refused to own up to it. That's not going to do you a favor, and you don't win. Simple as that. Even though he had 4 HOHs, which I'm not going to say that's not impressive. Obviously, comp wins are good. But that's not the only thing that matters. And I hope and I pray that production is able to learn from this. You shouldn't make your show the comp show. That's not what I'm tuning in for. I don't care about comps. If you have a winner of a show where people are like, how did this person win? Why did this person win? It's a bitter jury, instead of, oh, this person actually played a really incredible social strategic game and didn't need to win comps because of how good her game was. That's kind of on you, man. You need to edit your show. You need to take a look, take a pull back here. Sit down at a meeting. Season's over, so you got time. Sit down and talk. And say, what did we do wrong with this edit? Why are people so mad that Ashley won? Because they don't know what her game is. And she played a good game. She played a very, very good game. She's a very smart player. Her reads were always incredibly good. But we didn't get to see it. Because they focused more on the comps and the drama. And I get it. It's a TV show. I know it has to have some entertainment to it. But you can't just make it what like you can't spin it to your narrative. You have to kind of be honest to the game that's being played. And a lot of times they don't always do that, which is very unfortunate. Which is why I really highly recommend people, if you're a casual fan watching this, next season, at least if you're not going to watch feeds, at least catch some of the updates online. There's plenty on social media everywhere. On YouTube, there's recaps for RGP does daily live feed updates. So even if you don't want to sit down and spend the time, or if you don't even have the time to watch or listen to the live feeds every day, you can at least catch like the TLDR of the day. Or clips online. Hamster Watch. There's so many like people who have website updates where there are written daily recaps of the day. You can always go read that there as well. Not having that feed, not getting the context and the information from it is critical. It's like a different show. It's a whole different game. Because you're at the mercy of the edit, and clearly it doesn't always show what it's supposed to. Which is unfortunate. Because people are going to try to devalue Ashley's win, and I think that's nonsense. I've already seen it, and it's stupid. Ashley Hollis is a great winner. She had an incredible social game, and people also, for the record, keep calling her, oh, a floater one, da-da-da. First of all, Ashley's not a floater. Let's get that clear. Look at the definition of a floater. It's not Ashley's game at all. Second of all, being a floater is not a bad thing. Being a floater is actually a pretty hard strategy to do successfully, and people have won by being floaters. Hell, the OG floater, June Song, Rat Floater himself, Andy Harris. We've had not Rat Floater, just we've had floater winners before, and they played very solid games. They were very good winners. So it's not like a bad thing to be like, oh, she's a floater, da 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 da. No. because I don't see anybody calling Dr. Will a bad winner. Dr. Will didn't win a single competition when he won Big Brother 2. But he's a legend. Interesting how that works. Suffice to say, this game isn't all about comps. Honestly, the perfect thing is the balance of the three: social, strategic, and comps. Blend them all together. Win when you need to, be social, be strategic, and you're golden. If you win too much, you're a comp beast and you're in trouble. If you don't win, you can still win the game. You can still have influence on the game, because then that you focus more on your social and strategic, and you can, obviously, your influence over people, the alliance that you build, the trust that you make. You can use the connections in the game to push your own agenda in the house. As we saw with Morgan and Vince. Morgan got Vince to do a lot of things that weren't in his best interest, but were good for her game because she had social connections with him to influence him. That's a social game. Obviously, it's good to get comps because then you have the sole power alone. And you can say, no, but I didn't have to manipulate anybody for this. I did it myself. That's always a plus. But it's not necessary. And listen, if I'm the juror, I would much, much, much rather vote for somebody who was manipulative, socially smart, strategic, who had a good sense of the game, over somebody who comped their way to the end. I'm like, okay, you could do a puzzle, you could do the little tiny veto stack, you can hang on a wall the longest. Cool, that's fun, but that's not Big Brother at its heart and its core. Strip everything, all the twists and the gimmicks, everything away from Big Brother, and it is a social game. Hell, that's what it started as. It was a social experiment. There weren't even comps to begin with. Go back to Big Brother 1. There was no HOH. There was no veto wasn't introduced until Big Brother 3. And even then, it was the silver power of veto that you couldn't use on yourself. You had to use it on somebody else until the golden power of veto was introduced at the final 5. Big Brother has never, ever been solely competition, no matter how much the edit and CBS try to tell you it is. That's my little rant right here. This is a social game. I don't care what anybody on TikTok try to tell me. I don't care about your TikToks. I know this game. It's social. It's not the challenge. The challenge is good because it's its own thing. I don't want the challenge, but it's like the same conversation we had with Rachel's elimination. That's not. They made that comp based. This is not what the show is. The show is about social influence and voting somebody out, not who can complete a puzzle and not go home. It literally would be like you're on the challenge. You're like, okay, we're gonna do a vote who goes home this week instead of like a hall brawl. Like, no one wants to see that. They're like, what? Like, you're on the traders instead of doing the roundtable vote. They're like, okay, now somebody has to go hang off this helicopter and do this thing, and if they lose, goodbye. That's not the show. I'm rambling now. But like TLDR, this is a social game. Ashley, a very strong social strategic player. She didn't need the comps to win. She didn't need to win. And she also didn't get to play in that many vetoes. So, yeah. You don't need comp wins are a plus for your resume, but you don't need them. That's my rant here. Social strategy is much, much more important, in my personal opinion, than comp wins. You can bolster your game with them, but it's not the end all be all. So, if you're going to Big Brother, it's good to win some comps, but I think you need to be able to do more beyond that. And that's why we're Team Ashley all the way to the end, baby. Now, that's not to say anything bad on Morgan. I think Morgan still would have been a phenomenal player because, yeah, Morgan is the comp beast, but she was so much more than that. Her game was very well balanced as well. She had the social aspect. She was very strategic. She ran circles around Vince. She ran circles around a lot of people in this house. She was very, very, very smart player. And she wasn't even winning comps until the second half of the game, until we pretty much hit the jury phase. So she would have been a very good winner as well. For obviously her and Ashley, very different games, but both very strong games. But yeah, this is my rant. It's just kind of frustrating, you know? To see somebody who you know played like a really good game, and for people to online to be like, I don't get it. She didn't win comps. How is she good at the game? There's so many ways to play Big Brother. There are so many different strategies to this game. I would highly suggest going back, looking at past winners, seeing how they played. I guarantee you they are all so different. So different. And they all have their strengths, they all have their weaknesses. But yeah. I'm sorry. It just kind of annoys me that people just are just undercutting something just because they didn't see it on the edit. The edit isn't the end of the all. And this is just like, CBS, please. I hope next season that they are able to learn from this and spend not as much time focusing on the comps, pushing the comps. Maybe they'll get rid of the blockbuster this time. No more 3 nominees. We don't need an extra comp. We can just do our live HOHs that I miss so much. I miss live HOHs so bad. I loved starting the wall comp on the episode. It was always the best. Maybe we'll get rid of that. Maybe we'll get rid of the blockbuster and we can get a live HOH again. We can get more than one double eviction a season again. Pookie, come home, please. But yeah, I hope CBS is able to learn something from this season. Because clearly, they didn't expect Ashley to win. They fully thought Morgan was just going to comp her way to the end. But that's the name of the show, ain't it? That's the name of the game. They say it every year, every episode. Expect the unexpected. So they better be prepared for the unexpected. And set their players up for success in these edits. And not try to convince people that somebody who doesn't know anything is a genius, a mastermind, etc. Look at the game honestly and tell the correct story. Not the story that you want it to be. Not the story that you want the TV show to be about. The true story of the game and the players that you have in it. And let's go back to basics. Remember Big Brother back in the day? People were complaining. So many twists, so many things. There's so much craziness going on that they said, fuck it. We're going back to basics. We're doing a back to basics seasons. And what did we get? Big Brother 10. One of, if not one, like the best season of Big Brother ever. One of my favorite seasons. One of my very, very top seasons. And there's no campy twists. There's no secret brothers or exes or get ready for a takeover or here's a surprise 18th person. Here's an extra comp we're going to throw in for extra nominees. Here's Battle of the Block. Here's all the... It's just people in a house playing Big Brother. And that is the heart of this game. Just let these people play the game and edit their stories truthfully and wisely and with care, please. Because I love this show. I love it so dearly. And I really want it to be at its best. I really do. It is kind of funny now, as I end my rant here, that I've been complaining about, twists and comps and like that. in my janky Okay, I know. You're like, Jess, are you complaining about Twist, but you're wearing a Twist jacket? Yeah. Don't worry about that. Hypocrite. He's just a little guy, okay? Jakey's innocent in this. He didn't write the show, okay? He's just a little guy they made. Okay? Sue me. But yeah. What a finale we had, though. Tirade over. I'm so sorry. I really wandered from the finale. But yeah, I'll pop back to the screen for a second. Our winner, Ashley, she is so excited. Oh my god, I didn't even do AFP. I lost the plot so much, I forgot about AFP. Oh my god. But Ashley, so excited, so shocked. She, comes up to her confetti. Vince kind of sneaks out behind her, which I appreciate. I kind of don't like when, Final Two kind of walks out with him. Let them have their little moment, They just won the show. Give them a sec. Everybody's so excited. Everybody's hugging, cheering. Amy is screaming at a pitch I think only dogs can hear, and I love that for her. She is so happy for Ashley. Oh, it's actually really sweet. And the go commercial come back. AFP. Now I've put about 3,000 votes on Rachel. I've put in work. Some people have put way more than I did. Props to them. Our final three for AFP. We've got Rachel, Will, and Keanu. Now, I didn't make a graphic for this because I deadass just realized I forgot about that. Oh well. AFP gets 50K. Good for them. 65% of the vote. It's Keanu. I'm like, oh, okay. Which I knew. I'm not shocked. We knew we were fighting to lose a battle against the casuals for Rachel. I tried real hard. We tried. But at least Rachel was top 3, and that's all that matters to me. And I'm not shocked Will was there. Will was so funny. Will was hilarious. So I'm not shocked there. Yeah. We have our winner. Ashley, I love her. Okay, I'm going back to my screen. I just wanted to show that again because it's the same word. But yeah. And with that, Big Brother 27... It's over. Now what do we do? Stare at the wall until next summer? No winter season. No all winners. Nothing. No little show. Now we just gotta sit like this until next July. Kind of a bummer. I'm always sad when regular ends because it's just so much. I had lunch today at work for the first time in 3 months. I was like, I don't have a live feed. I watch the live feed update every single day at my lunch, on my lunch break. Every day. Without fail. And I'm like, I have no update. What do I do? I genuinely had to there for a few minutes like, what do I watch on my lunch? Where's Taryn? What do I do? I genuinely for a second, I'm like, should I go back and watch it? Oh. I'm like, no. We can't start rewatching live feed updates. Please. It's only been a day. I'm like, it hasn't even been 24 hours. We're not that desperate yet. Please. But I'm so sad it's over. Big Brother season is truly the most fun season of all. It is so time consuming and it is so crazy. And sometimes we end the show happy as a clam. Sometimes the season ends and I am so livid and I'm like, thank God, get this shit away from me. But at the end of the day, I love this show. I've been watching it since I was 13 and I'm 26. It's literally half of my life. And I love it. I love it so much. These kooky ass people in their silly little parking lot, playing their little game, doing their little things on their little cameras, little live feeds. I'm sad it's over. I am. It's kind of hitting. I'm like, oh, it is over. Now what? But yeah. So that is our coverage for Big Brother 27. It really went out with a bang. This season had its highs and its lows, and I'm glad we ended on a high. I am really, really glad because we really were in a dark place for a while. After the White Locust, ooh, we were in dark, the depths of hell, and we rose back up. And honestly, this was, I think, the most exciting endgame I've seen in a long time. Usually the endgame slogs by because there's just no strategy, nothing. Locked to the feeds in the last week with Final 4, Final 3 is crazy. We were getting hour-long live feed updates at Final 3, Final 4. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, props to Big Brother 27. This truly has been one of the better top seasons of the new era from 23 to 27. Definitely up there. I was worried, because personally for me, Big Brother 26 was really high up there. I think it was my favorite of the new era. So I'm like, how can 27 beat this? And boy, did it go up there. So, a lot of pressure for the BB28 folks. Oh boy, the pressure is on. You can't flop or you're in trouble. Because we're riding high on 26, 27. 28 better be phenomenal. We had to wait a whole year for it. I'm so sad. But yeah. And I just want to say, I started this channel with BB27. I thought of this months ago. Months before I started this, like in March. I'm like, I had this idea. I'm like, what if I do this? Because I just, I love my shows. And I rant about them to my dear lovely friends who do not watch them and who have no idea what I'm talking about and just smile and nod and go, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, right? Like, I make my friends do a draft with me. They don't even watch the show. By the way, first year I won the draft. Ours was point-based, so I didn't have Ashley, but I had Morgan and Kelly, and they cleared up for me. I had a lot of people on my team getting me points. First year I won! But regardless, I'm trying to be sentimental right now. Okay. I know starting this channel with Big Brother 27 was truly gonna be trial by fire. Like, picking the most insane show with the most insane schedule sure is a way to start. Especially when I thought it was going to be 3 episodes a week, and then, surprise, surprise, unlocked 4 episodes a week, and I'm like, oh, okay, hope we're doing more, okay. But I have really, I think, learned a lot. I know it's not perfect. I know definitely in my older videos, probably too recappy. I'm thinking, I like by the sense, like, I'm way too, like, beat by beat with this episode, like, pages, like, I have a problem with note taking. I literally wrote down, like, the entire episode, and I'm like, what am I doing? But yeah, I realized, I'm like, we started off, and we're on the up and up. It's only up from here, We're just starting out, and we had a lot of fun with BB27. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad we had a good season. I'm glad we had a really good season to start us off with. Can you imagine if it was, like, BB25? Oh my god. That would have been a slog. Watch BB28 be, like, terrible. Oh. But yeah. So I just want to say, I am really thankful for those of you watching who had to deal with me and my inconsistencies as I kind of stumbled and tumbled my way through figuring this channel out on the fly with the craziest show on TV. But as we know, we get into post BB27 and kind of ease into a more chill schedule. I think I'll have a better time finding the balance. I've already posted a schedule. Look, I got a schedule planned. Look at that. And I think by the time BB28 rolls around, we're gonna have this thing on lock. Call me BB unlocked. Who? We're BB locked, Mims. We're gonna have this thing good to go, and we're gonna be on fire. That's my hope. Knowing me, who knows? But that's okay. I'm not here to be the perfect YouTuber. I wouldn't even say this is a podcast. I wouldn't call it a podcast. I just be blabbing. I'm not here to be the perfect recapper. I'm just here to talk about the things I love. And I love Big Brother. I love TV. I love my crazy, competitive reality TV shows. And I have a lot of opinions. Sometimes, maybe too many opinions. Sometimes I'm a bit of a hater, and I need to work on that. Sometimes I forget, especially with Big Brother, that these are people and not little characters on screen. It's harder with Big Brother to kind of take that step back and be like, these are people we're talking about, not just little characters. Because with other shows like, like Survivor, The Amazing Race, things like that, The Traitors, they're active watching the show with you because it's pre-filmed. So, like they're online with you, they're on Instagram, they're on Blue Sky, they're on Twitter. They're active in the community while the show's airing. Big Brother, obviously, it's live. They're contained in their little bubble. So it's like, you're not even real. I can say whatever, they're in their little bubble. I'm kind of pivoting. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking this because earlier a couple days ago, Joseph from BB26 put out a really great video that I would highly recommend watching on his mental health struggles and connections with being on Big Brother. I think it's a really nice video. Definitely should check that out. I really pivoted from my original point. I'm very sorry. It was just a really good video. I really think it was a great video from him. I really love Joseph. I think he's a really great guy. Definitely watch that video. I'll link it down below. I'll link it in the bio. It's really good. Okay, back to what I was saying before. I took a hard pivot. I'm sorry. But yeah, this has been so fun. Oh my god, it's been a blast. As I figured out with me and my wacky little graphics that I've had to figure out my own because I'm not a graphic designer. I just smacked this together and was like, I hope it's good. And I never figured out the thumbnails. They're the same, but that's okay. We're gonna figure it out eventually. We got a lot to learn, a lot to grow, and a lot to look forward to coming up. I gotta figure out editing. I really gotta do. But yeah, looking to the future now that Big Brother is over. As I posted, earlier today, the schedule, we have Survivor 49 and The Amazing Race actively airing. Now, for this week, because of the Big Brother Endgame, I had initially planned to do 2 separate videos for week 10 and week 11, and instead just combine them to that little quick one that I did, the kind of whatever one. I am gonna do my videos for the premieres of Survivor 49 and The Amazing Race tomorrow and Wednesday, just for this week, because of the whole Big Brother mess of it all. Once episodes 2 air on Wednesday night for both Survivor and The Amazing Race, then we will get into our schedule. So I have set it up for Fridays will be Survivor. That'll be our Survivor night. Sundays is The Amazing Race. We also have Guts and Glory, which I mentioned this in my other video as well, but I'll say it here again in the finale and in my post as well. Was originally supposed to air September 9th, which I still thought it was. So I've been saying, yeah, I know I was going to do it, but I didn't have enough time, so we're going to wait till October, and if we're with Halloween, Apparently the people who made the show also had the same thought, because they pushed it to October 14th. So, I didn't know that. So, joke's on me. I didn't know that. So, we are going to do that once it actually airs. It airs October 14th, which is a Tuesday, so I'm planning to put those out on Thursdays. It's a very short season. I believe it's only 6 episodes. It's not like, a 20 episode season that we're going to keep going. It's just 6 episodes. It's a quick little thing. Actually really good for Halloween. I think it'll be fun. Yeah. So that'll be going on. And for now, as well, like I said, Survivor's on Friday. So it'll be just to start the week over. Week resets, I guess, on Wednesdays. So it'll be Thursdays, Guts and Glory, while it's airing. Fridays, Survivor. Sundays, The Amazing Race. And maybe we'll get a bonus video here and there. Maybe it'll be like a movie. Maybe it'll be, if I can figure out editing, still working on it. Maybe do something like that. Well, who knows? We'll see. But for now, that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much. It's been so much fun. I love Big Brother season. It's truly the best time of the year for me. Even when I was in high school, I was like, I don't care about summer break. I care about Big Brother season. Big Brother is summer. So thank you all for watching. For those of you who are sticking around, that'd be really cool. If you want to like, if you want to subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the season. How do you think about Ashley being our official winner for Big Brother 27? What are you looking forward to in the upcoming season next year? Oh. What are your hopes? Do you think production can maybe rein in these twists a little bit? Do you think we're going to get even more twisty next year? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think our theme is going to be next year? Our theme that they kind of all follow, they kind of don't follow. I don't know. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts below. Like I said, leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks so much for watching. That is Jess. Oh my god. This is Jess. Very sadly and officially signing out for the end of our Big Brother coverage for this year. Me and Janky gotta go. We'll see you all next time. Alright, bye guys. No more Big Brother. I'm so sad. Bye.